Good morning. Okay, we're getting ready for the day. How are you? Thank you for joining me. I love the company and I love the comments. Love, love, love the comments. Yes, I do. Please keep them coming. This cold weather has me inside all the time, so it's probably the most consistent and enjoyable company I have. Don't tell my friends. Now, I had a lunch date yesterday with one of my lady friends, and oh my God, the more I get to know her, the more I like her. So if you're a little lonely, get outside of yourself and just kind of friend date. Try to get to know some different folks as only friends, and give it a shot, because I'm sure glad I did. I have 3 different women that I have occasional lunch dates with, and you know, it takes a little more time to warm up to some people, and some people it's instantaneous or it's pretty quick. Some people take a little extra time, but at least it's company and it's conversation and it's stimulating and it's a great opportunity. And here's what's important. Excuse me. Here's what's important is all the things that we learn on here, you know, some of the little techniques I tell you about, tolerance, patience, the value of being calm, allowing your intuition to move, things like that. Excuse me. I just think it's so important. I'm going to experiment a little bit. I tried this the other day and I liked it, but my skin was really dry, so it's not now. I'm going to try this makeup then, because I put on extra moisturizer this morning by mixing a little of the castor oil with it, because at the end of the day yesterday, my makeup looked dried, and I don't think I used any powder whatsoever, so there wasn't a reason for me to, yeah, I'll use this one, have that much dry looking. It wasn't anything like flaky or anything like that, so I'm happy. Okay, so whenever you go to lunch with a new person or out to coffee or what have you, you get the chance. There's my little chubby. Oh well. Can't hurt to have a new brush. It's just it doesn't work as well. Some of these very affordable makeup brushes, they'll do the job. You don't need to buy a $100, $20, $30 makeup brush. You can make these inexpensive brushes work. But sometimes you come across something for $1 or $2, $3 at the most, that works so good. It's because the brush bristles are short and the bristles are compact. You know, where these are soft and this comes across more firm. It just does a wonderful job. Okay, so anyway, you get to practice being the best you can be. That's what's good about it. Even if it's not going to be best friend material, which you never know. Could. So one of the things that I noticed for some of the couples that I've worked with is that once they start getting a little successful or win a lottery or get some kind of notoriety, it's easy for other people to think you're the bomb. Really easy. Because they don't have to live with you. But when they are stroking your ego, because they're seeing the best of you, I'm not just talking about you, I'm also talking about your partner, if that's what they're going through. then other people are seeing the best of them, us, whatever. And therefore, they come home to someone who knows them and knows that, oh, that person forgot to call or didn't do anything romantic for a long time. They're short-tempered. They're being ugly with the kids or dogs. Not coming home on time because they're enjoying their work or their music or what have you. So we start not being our best self, right? So whether we're we'll just say oh my God. I just thought of something. I was going to say, because of perpetrator or victim, I was going to say, but that's too strong, harsh words for what I'm talking about. It's more like a dance of anger, you know? But I was thinking of perpetrator P, victim V, and then my mind went to penis and vagina. And I was just like, so the P or the V, and I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with my brain? But it kind of makes sense. Unless, of course, you're on the rainbow spectrum, but I'm just old and senile. So it's just weird when Ackerman's kind of actually. Okay, so this is about, yeah, I'm really shiny. This, I like this because it's really natural. I like this better because as long as your skin is moist, you know, this has enough moisture in it that you don't have to even use another moisturizer if you don't want to. Wow, my skin looks so moist. Okay, so anyway, the people who, here's the trick. So, and here's what happens in court a lot too, because I used to work with attorneys I used to work in domestic violence court. And what I'm talking about, a lot of people go, we don't have domestic violence in our house or in our relationship. But on a low scale, it is kind of like domestic violence cycle, just turned way down to a 1 or 2 or 3. But the tension and the investment is still there, where one person is starting to get louder and another person starting to get quieter. So there's not conversation going on. Or one person is manipulating the conversation, so the other person walks away confused. And they don't think it's manipulation because they're so involved in it. Or they'll walk away confused and go, right? That's all I'm saying. Okay, I am gonna put on a little powder because otherwise my eye makeup will never. I'm just gonna use some of my light powder. This is, I believe, the Rimmel Creamy Natural 011. Yeah, Rimmel Stay Matte. I just need to get my eyes on. Get that hair out of my eyes. Okay, so you know that when you go out with other people, you treat them nicer than you do your supposed loved one at home. So that's why I'm telling you this, is that sometimes we're not being consistent with how we're treating people. Does that make sense? if it does, it's just something to think about. It's not a judgment. It's not saying, oh, you're a terrible person. It's just, well, let's think about it. Because I can tell you there was a time when I was married to someone who treated his friends or even strangers really well. It was one of the reasons I liked him. And started dating him seriously. Because I didn't take him too seriously in the beginning because he was so young. And anyway. So when it came time to come home, I didn't want to come home. But I blamed him for me not wanting to come home. I blamed him for me feeling so terrible. And I just kept getting angrier and angrier. I'm sharing this with you, not to just to tell on myself and tell you the ugly, gory details of my life. I tell you these stories so hopefully you can relate or help someone else that you see going through this. Because therapy isn't cheap. Divorce isn't cheap. Getting married isn't cheap. So if people take their relationships a lot more seriously than I did for a long time, because I was so self-centered, God, I was hard to break, because my needs came first. That whole feminine movement thing, you know, to some degree, was very confusing to my soul. I wanted the family life more than anything, I thought. But I also wanted success more than anything, I thought. I just bounced back and forth in my head consistently throughout the day. And many people do. I'm not the only one. Why do you think there's so many relationship books in the library or in the bookstores or Amazon? I miss bookstores with little coffee shops in them. I do. I really do. Oh well. Times have changed. Times have changed. What hasn't changed is the spiritual, evolutionarily stable. I just made that up, I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. Need for relationship. People need a mate, even if it's just a good friend. They need a consistent person in their life to add stability and mental, emotional stimulation. People cannot operate very well without it. That's the truth. So if you want to grow as a human, or a lot of people say, I want a more stable sobriety. To me, what I hear is, I want more stable sanity. I need to find a way to live life on life's terms in a way that is beneficial to me on a deeper level than just being sober. And sober doesn't have to just be alcohol. It can be, oh my goodness, my eyes are getting weaker and weaker, I think. I'll go get them checked out one of these days. But you know what? I like to be able to use my insurance because I get a little vision care on it. And I have supplemental insurance. But not every business in town covers me. I have to drive clear across town to get to someone who services my insurance, which is ridiculous, I think. But, you know, you play the game. Okay, so here's what I want to throw out there for you. We can complain about the other person all day long. And I don't mind you complaining. Complain to me. If you don't have something nice to say about somebody, come sit by me. Seriously, I want to hear it. However, the deal is, how's that working for you? You know, there are consequences to behaviors, good or bad. There's consequences, and they're either beneficial or not so much. You know, some of these eyeliner wands remind me of calligraphy pens. If you don't write calligraphy, those pens are just a pain. I just need a stump like this. But it doesn't fit in here very well. I used it when the eyeliner was new because then it was, you know, more full and that brush could connect with the liquid level, but oh well. So anyway, it's about practice. It's about practice. Am I practicing patience and tolerance? And if you don't have a spouse or roommate that you really care about, it's hard to practice these skills so that when you do have a partner, you're better at it, if you want one. And everybody honestly does want a partner. They're just afraid to admit it because they're afraid they'll sound weak, because there has been so much propaganda around being single. Why do people want you to be single? They don't want to be single. They'll write a book on the pleasures of being single. At the same time, they're desperately dating. Hypocrites. Yeah. That's what I have to say. I have to use liquid eyeliner because powders, I have not found a powder to stay on all day long. Here's the one that I was using for the eyeliner. Look how stiff that is. I love this brush. But it's hard to get it in here because this lip is so big. But I'm going to put it right here so I use it next time. Okay, so basically the moral of the story is, if you want, whoops, if you want to if you want to learn how to be better at communication, just experiment, just experiment for say a week without pointing the finger at the other person, and every single time point 3 fingers back at you and figure out how you could have communicated better. Could you have maybe sat down instead of stand over them? Could you have maybe slowed down and talk softer? Let the voice come from your chest? Could you change your facial expressions or the glint in your eye? Because some people say, I heard this a million times, I didn't yell at them. I don't know why they were like, you're yelling or you're being mean. I didn't even yell. And I'm like, did you whisper? And then look at them in a way that was effective. Still got your point across. Were you doing this? Rolling your eyes? I can't. Did I do it right? I don't know. I had to practice not rolling my eyes for so long that I'm hoping I don't do it very good anymore. I hope I lost it. But ooh, I used to have it. Not attractive. People think they're making their point, and oh, they are. But it's certainly not attractive. I'm just saying. If you're an eye roller, stop it. It's not attractive. Anyway. Just a word to my girls that I hear from a lot. I want you to know that if you do any of this, I don't love you less. And if you are doing these things and I don't know you very well, you don't usually comment or whatever, I don't love you any less either. There's nothing that impresses me more than someone who's putting some effort into their life. I love being on the same page with people. I love that feeling. It doesn't happen often. So if you're afraid to accept or believe that maybe you might be on the same page as some of this, it's okay. We got to stick together, right? And help each other through these times. We all can use a little improvement. Heck, none of us does this perfectly. If they say they do, please don't believe it. I was watching, believe it or not, this is true. I was watching that new Stallone show because I always thought Rocky was just, I loved the first one. Oh my God, talk about heartstrings. It was a simple story. It wasn't complicated. But it was deep and meaningful. And until I watched this silly, this is our life kind of thing, which is cute. But anyway, I didn't know Sylvester Stallone actually wrote that movie. I think that's what I'm understanding. Now I'm telling you what, I think that is adorable. I have to put on some powder. I put on a lot of moisturizer with that castor oil. And I'm shiny. And I don't mind, but I don't want it. It doesn't feel like it's going to run down my face like some heavy stuff does, but it's just a little too shiny. Okay. If I have to go anywhere today, I'm going to have to wear my hair in a bun or do something with my hair because it is. I even had my little humidifier going last night, but my hair is like straw this morning, and I use conditioner on it. You never know what my hair is going to look like. I mean, it's not dry. It's not real dry because of the product I put on, but it looks and feels like it is just tangled up. I don't know. Weird. Never know what it's going to look like. It was in the 50s and sunny. It felt like 60s. And now last night I think it was 29. And this morning it is cool out. I had to cover up my trees again. I forgot to do it last night. I'm getting tired of it. Uncover, cover, uncover, cover. Most years, I feel like, in my mistaken memory, is that the seasons are smooth, going in and out of each other. And that's never been true. It has never been true. It's funny how I hear people talk about global warming in just the last couple of years. And I can honestly tell you, I don't know why, but I can remember the misery of different seasons coming and going, and how we used to call them Indian summers or something winters, or, which I don't know if that's racist or not. So I'm sorry I said that. But it was just one of those things where if we had a certain cold snap, warm snap, cold snap in especially in the fall, the trees would be the most gorgeous color you ever see. And almost every year that happened. We have brick in my hometown. We have brick streets with these big oak trees that line up the streets. And those trees would be a glowing yellow or glowing orange or glowing orange yellow. And just driving down the street, because the trees would canopy over, it was like being in freaking heaven. And the sound of the bricks underneath your car tires or your bicycle, it was amazing. So I think, I have to go, but I think what that makes me put together is that good times come and go, harsh weather comes and go, harsh words between people come and go. It's what we're really able to take away from it. Is it something that enhances our life in a way that helps us grow as a person, that helps us grow as a couple or a team? Or is it something that says, it's time to move to Florida or wherever, Arizona, Texas, somewhere where it's good weather, or it's time to move to, I don't know, some northern state where there's not all the warmer humidity and all that. I don't know, but sometimes we need to change. And sometimes we don't need to change our address, we need to change our attitude. Just throwing it out there. All right, I love you, gotta go. Stuff's happening, I can tell. Somebody started a vehicle, so I gotta go see what that's about. Okay, I gotta go be Snoopy. All right, love you. Have a blessed day. And stay sober. Mentally. All right, bye for now.